about a little bit about me, a little bit about what we're planning to do here this evening. So it's in the UK here, so it's the evening here. I'm not sure where you are, but it's maybe during the day where you are. So I'm Gila, and you may have seen me around social media, and you've probably seen me on the challenge quite a few times this week already. And I've spent a lot of time, a lot of years sort of learning how to set goals, how to fulfill goals, how to balance mothering and parenthood with reaching out there and achieving your goals and your talents, utilizing your talents in life. And last year I launched this challenge for the first time, and it was incredible. And I'm really pleased that we got to do it again this year. So what we're going to do tonight is I wanted to go through with you 3 common reasons why people fail and what we can do to beat that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take everything from the challenge and from the masterclass that we're doing tonight, and we're going to fill it up with, I'm going to bring it home so that you can sort of really take this and bring it into value. We're going to go through the winners of the prizes, and I'm also going to, with your permission, I'm going to give you information about an opportunity that I have to work with me further, if that's interesting for anyone. So what are the reasons why a lot of people fail? And so I'm going to go through 3 reasons. The first reason is, and I think a lot of us make this mistake very often, is that we think we need to know more. We need to learn more, right? Usually the mistake is not in the information, it's in the implementation, right? I want to tell you something. I'll share with you a personal story. So last year I launched a course, and I was speaking to a business coach afterwards, and he said to me, so what's next? And I told him, well, I've got plans to create another course and this other course. And he says to me, hold on a second. He says, you've got a fantastic course. He says, did people take the course? I was like, yes. Did they get something out of it? Yes. He says, to do it again, right? Very often we think to ourselves, I need to learn more. I need to know more before I can do. But the problem usually isn't in the information stage. It's usually in the implementation. So I'm going to give you a tiny little hack, which is so powerful in how we can take the implementation and make it happen. So this is actually backed up by research, and it's really interesting to because it's so simple, but it makes such a huge difference. Is that when you want to do something, instead of saying I will do X, Y, Z, say I will do X, Y, Z, and then say when and where. So let's just say, for example, you make a goal for yourself. You say, I want to start walking every day, right? So that's a great goal, right? And it's something that, might motivate you, might not motivate you, whatever it is. But most people that say, I want to start walking every day, they may struggle. They may do it for 3 days. They may drop off. Here's the different way to do it, which tends to be much more powerful, much more effective, is to say, I'm going to walk every single day at 9 o'clock in the morning after I drop my kids off to school, right? For example, or I'm going to walk every single day at 6 o'clock in the evening after I've cleaned my kitchen, right? So what are you doing here is you're making a plan, really. You're making a time and a place of when you're going to do it. Now, what does it do is it does a couple of things. Number one is it gives it more structure, right? So then the next morning, when it's, let's say 8 or 9 o'clock let's say you say, I'm going to do it 9 o'clock after I drop my kids off to school. I'm going to walk around the block 2 times before I go back to the car, right? So the next morning at 9 o'clock, you know what you have to do. So you'll do it, right? And it's very, I think that I can't remember what the statistics are, but the statistics are that people that they did a study to see, people who said, who were told, they did 2 groups, right? The group that was told to exercise, and the group, and then there was another group that was told to exercise, but they actually had to write down when and where they were going to do it. and the group that wrote down when and where they were going to do it were so much more successful at doing it, right? Because it takes the thought process out of it, right? Then you sort of know, okay, I've dropped my kids off at school, I go for a walk, I do this, that, and the other, or, you know, and even better, put it in your calendar or something, or you know, but once you put a time and a place in for it, it makes it so much easier to implement it. And I'll give you another example. For example, let's say someone struggles with responding to emails, right? You know, the inbox is always overflowing, and it's just one thing that they're not really good at, and they can't do it, and they want to get on top of it, right? So instead of saying, I'm going to spend 15 minutes a day going through my emails, right? Or I'm going to spend 15 minutes every other day going through my emails, say when and where, right? So if, you know, make a place for it. Let's say you say, I'm going to do it in, you know, my office from 9:45 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Every single morning I'm going to do it. You do it, right? Again, it's and try and do it, try and put it in a place where it makes more sense to do it, so it's easiest to do it. So the reason number one that most people fail is because they fail to implement, right? They have the information, they know what they want to do, they know why they want to do it, they're motivated to do it, but they fail to implement it. So what we want to do in this number one is to make it as easy as possible for us to implement it. So one of the ways to do that is to instead of just saying I'm going to do this, is to say when and where I'm going to do it, and try and put it in the place where it makes most sense to do it, right? So for example, again, going back to the goal, if your goal is to walk, find a time in the day where it makes more sense to walk, right? So the easiest time to fit a place in to walk, and then say, this is when I'm going to do it and where I'm going to do it. So implementation is number one. What we're going to do is we're going to find a time and a place of where we're going to do it, okay? Now, which leads us really on to the second point. And the second point, a lot of times people fail is because we fail to hold ourselves accountable, right, for it. So what do I mean by that? So let's just say, let's go back to the walking one, right? Let's just say, you know what, I am going to start walking every day, or I am going to spend, you know, 20 minutes every day, undivided attention with my kids, or whatever it is, or I'm going to spend, you know, the part of my business that I hate doing, the part of my job that I'm going to hate doing, I'm going to spend 10 minutes every day doing that, right? Now, what happens is, so let's say you've done step number one, where it's Monday, and you say, I am going to spend, let's just say it's the emails that you can't stand doing, or you hate being visible on social media, or you get distracted by your phone, whatever it is that you'll put your goal in there, right? And you say, Monday morning, 9:30 to 9:45, that's when I'm going to do that time. Now, what happens a lot of times is Monday we'll do it, right? Tuesday we'll do it. Wednesday comes up and something comes up or whatever, and it's 9:30 and we're just not feeling it, right? So what do most of us do at that point? And there's no embarrassment, this is no judgment, because we all do this, is we fail to hold ourselves accountable, which is we kind of say, you know what, this is more important, or I've got that, or I've got the other, right? And we fail to hold ourselves accountable for it. And as I said, it's a very normal thing. It's very human, and there's no judgment because we all do it. But what's the workaround around it? What is the workaround around it? And that is to set up an accountability system, right? Now, there are many, many ways to do it. I'm going to give you two different ideas which will work for you. And I'm also going to go, when I talk about further opportunities to work with me, I'll talk about that then. So if you're a tech savvy person, there are technical ways that you can do this, right? There are apps that you can take, or there are checklists that you can do that keep you accountable, right? For example, there's programs that you can use that will, like, once you've done it, it will tell you, you can tick it off, and if you haven't, it will remind you. What's even more effective is find an accountability buddy. Now, what's an accountability buddy? It's someone that accountability buddy, the best place to kind of use it is a short-term thing, right? So let's say you have a short-term goal, right? Let's just say your goal is to start your website, right? Or your goal is to start the exercise, or your goal is, you have a very specific short-term goal that you want to accomplish, right? You find someone else who also has a short-term goal, right? It doesn't have to be the same, does not have to be the same. Let's say the other person's goal is to hire an assistant, or the other person's goal is to start their mailing list set up, or the other person's goal is to do homework with a kid every day. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you are in the same sort of area or not, that doesn't matter. All it matters is that you both have a goal that you're working on, right? You're working towards. And then you have a time by which you want to accomplish that goal, right? So let's just say I want to get my website up and running in the next 3 weeks, right? And this accountability buddy is someone who wants to get her mailing list up and running in the next 3 weeks, or she's someone who needs to sort out some sort of, intervention in her home for her kids, and she's giving herself 3 weeks, right? So you discuss it with each other, and you say, we're going to check back in 3 weeks, right? And you're going to tell me how you do, and I'm going to tell you how I do. Now, obviously, it has to be someone, now because you're both working towards something, neither of you are going to want to show up in 3 weeks and say, actually, I didn't do it, right? So an accountability buddy is super, super, super powerful in order to help you get them. Now, how do you find an accountability buddy? There are many places to find, right? It could be a friend. Sometimes our friends are not the best people to do it, because sometimes in front of a friend, we don't mind to show up and say, especially if it's a friend that knows you well, and you're not embarrassed of your procrastination in front of, then that might not be good. But sometimes, in a Facebook group, right? It might be a great place. In the past, I found an accountability buddy in a Facebook group, just by putting a message in a group saying, this is what I want to accomplish. I'm looking for someone who also has a similar goal that they want to do, and that will cheer each other on, will be accountability. And you're not just, are you cheering each other on, but you're also kind of holding each other accountable for. So accountability is huge, right? And I think what we have to recognize here is that we need that accountability in our life, right? Like, we all need accountability in our life. And I think, the world has changed. It used to be that we had much stronger in-person relationships, right? We had much stronger in-person relationships, and people had more time for friends, more time for their social connections, I think, right? Now we have less time for it. Our lives are more busy. We have more, I feel like we have more connections, but less of those in-depth, deep connections. And therefore we have to compensate on it by having an accountability, by having accountability. And by the way, there is a huge industry that's blossoming because of this, which is the coaching industry. And the coaching industry is incredible. And one of the huge things it's built on is, yes, someone is lending you their experience as well, but it's also the accountability. And some of the accountability comes from your investment, right? I had this a year and a half ago, I invested in a course that I took for myself, and it was expensive for me. It was real for me at that time in my life. It was like I spent days thinking, should I, shouldn't I, shouldn't I? And in the end, I was like, you know what? I really think I'll gain a lot from it. And I said yes to the course, and I invested in it. And because I invested in it, I was like determined that I was going to see it through. So for me, because I invested that sort of money, that gave me the accountability, right? So that's the second thing. So the first thing we spoke about is implementation. Make a time and a place when you are going to do that thing, right? It'll take all the guesswork, all the thought process out of it, and then you can do it. The second thing is accountability, right? Find out how you can make yourself accountable for it, right? Is it through accountability buddy? Is it through a financial investment, right? What is it that is going to keep me accountable to it? Because I think the big mistake we all make is we think that motivation, we need to be motivated, we need to start seeing beyond the motivation and start seeing how we can implement, right? Motivation is great, but it only gets you so far. right? Which kind of leads us into the third part, right? And this is that most people give up too early, right? I think, you know, there's a famous, I think, a meme that goes around, and it's kind of like, it says, you know, I've been eating healthy for 3 days. Am I skinny yet, right? Again, what's the point of it is that when you start a new habit, it's hard, right? And especially in the beginning, because you're putting all that, first getting started on something is hard, right? It takes a lot of effort in the beginning. You're changing a habit, you're doing something new, you're building something new. It takes a lot of effort in the beginning, and you don't yet see the results, right? Because let's just say you're starting to eat healthy, right? You're not going to see, you know, your skin feeling better and you feeling better. In the beginning, you just feel the pain, right? If you are investing in a relationship that needs investing in, whether it's a relationship with your kids, whether it's a relationship with a spouse, whether it's a relationship with parents, whether it's a relationship with siblings, whatever it is, in the beginning, you're investing, and you don't yet see anything, right? So the beginning of something is very, very, very hard. And what often happens is we give up too early, right? Someone gave me this analogy, and it's incredible. My friend, Rena Deutsch, who gave me this analogy, and I think it's absolutely incredible, where she says, you know, you can have the most powerful airplane, the most powerful Boeing 747, beautiful plane, state of the art, everything, right? If you don't give it enough runway, it can't take off, right? And that analogy is ours, right? We can have the most incredible goal, we can have the most incredible motivation, we can have the most incredible desire, reasons to do it. But if we don't give ourselves enough runway, if we don't give ourselves enough space and time to take off, then you know, we can't. And the truth, and so often we give up too soon, right? We say, you know what, I tried and it didn't work. I tried and it didn't work. And what we don't realize is that, like, you could have this incredible Boeing 747 in your driveway, but because there's no runway, it can't fly. That is who we are. We are these incredible humans. And we've got to give ourselves the runway, the space, the time to fail, to get back up again, so that we can really take off and be successful. And I think really that really is something to bear in mind, is that we give up too early, right? So, and failure is part of the experience, right? The part of the experience is to fail. And a lot of times what happens is when we fail, we kind of take that as the stop, whereas really it's just part of the journey, right? Like if you think about it, right? Let's say you're doing something, right? You're starting a new habit, right? Let's go back to the habit of exercising, right? So you're going to have 3 weeks where you exercise according to your goals, everything, and then something's going to happen, right? Something is going to happen, life is going to happen, something's going to go crazy, and you're going to have a day or a week where you can't do it, right? Now that is kind of like a dip. Now what happens is most of us get stuck over there on the dip, right? What we have to realize is we have to go back up. We have to go back up then, right? We have to keep going. And I think the trick there is to get back on as quickly as you can. Preferably, we should never have 2 days where we fail, right? You know, like if your goal is, let's say, to check your emails every single day, to be on top of your emails every single day, and one day you're off it, then the next day get right back on it, right? Because what happens usually is we usually feel bad and we feel down and we kind of like, oh, we lost it. Just get back on it. Just get back on it. It's interesting, you know, like a lot of times when if you're taking a course of medication or something, right? What do they say is, if you miss a day, just get back, just keep going, right? Just keep going. And that's the same analogy. We can't give up too early. We got to give ourselves the runway to take off and to be successful. So let's just sum up what we've discussed so far. Okay, so we said we gave 3 reasons why people fail, right? Number one is because it's usually in the implementation stage, right? So we want to make the implementation stage as easy, take as much of the thought process out of it, and that we do that by making, when I say I'm going to do X, Y, Z, make a plan, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, this time and this place. That makes it much easier for us to do it. Once we do that, we want to set up an accountability system, right? An accountability, whether it's having an accountability body, whether it's investing something of ourselves into it, so that we kind of feel like, you know what, I can't give up, right? There's two, it's I don't want to use the word embarrassing because it's the wrong thing, but like, I've got to show up, right? I've got to show up because I've got something to show up for. That's what accountability is. It's an accountability system. It's either an investment or an accountability buddy. And the third one is when we hit that road bump, we will hit that road bump. Don't give up too soon. Think about the runway, right? We're stopping here, whereas what we need is all the way there. And sometimes the plane gets off like this and off like that. It's okay. Okay, just give it the runway to do it. So what we're going to do, the practical takeaway, what I'm going to do for here is I'm going to say, you know, we spent 3 days, we did the challenge, right? And what we did is that we said that, you know, the last day, yesterday's challenge, sorry, not on Friday's task was to talk about what it did. We set a goal, which was day 2. What I want you to do now is to make that goal, but make it into a plan, right? So let's just say, you know, your goal is to become more spiritual, right? That's a goal. That's a big dream. Have it, right? But now we need to make it into a plan. And that plan is to take it and make it bite-sized, right? Really, really tiny. So what is spirituality? How do you do that? Is what is spirituality to me? Does it mean doing one thing for one other person once a day? And if then I'm going to say when and where I'm going to do that, right? If let's say your goal is to become more grateful, become more positive, become more happy, that's great. It's a dream. Go for it. Have those big dreams. It's really important to dream like that. But now the plan is how? Am I going to, before I go to bed every night, think about one thing that I'm grateful for, right? If my goal is to improve my relationship with my kids, right? That's a dream, that's a goal, that's great, fantastic. But what am I going to do? Is it perhaps every night before I put them to bed to spend 2 minutes asking them how it is, or when they come home from school to stop everything and just go to the door and open it up with a big smile on my face, right? You're going to make bite size, right? As small as possible. That is what your task is from today. So as I said, I was going to talk to you about an opportunity, a very, very exciting opportunity that I have for you to continue the work that we've done so far. And again, there is no obligation. I hope everyone that's joined the challenge has gotten tremendous value from it, got some tremendous value from the masterclass. There is no obligation to do anything further, but I do have an opportunity, and this is my course that I have run, which is Frustrated to Fulfilled. So basically, what does this course do? It's a 6-week group mentoring program, which means there's a group element to it, which means that there's accountability in it, right? Because you're working with a group of like-minded people, you're working with me as well, and we cheer each other on, we hold each other accountable, and every single week we go through the course material goes through how we can go from feeling frustrated, and that frustration in life can come from many different things. It can come from not feeling confident in, happy with where our relationships are. It could feel with, not feeling confident with where I am in relation to my life. It could feel like not feeling confident or secure in many, many, many areas, right? But and the cool thing about the course is that it's very, very applicable to many, many different areas of life. If there's any area of life that you feel frustrated about, this course will be able to take you from being frustrated to being fulfilled in 6 weeks. So what do we do in those 6 weeks? We go through different areas. We go through getting to know yourself, right? Really getting to know yourself, because that is a huge, huge component of how to get fulfilled, right? When you know exactly what it is that about yourself, you know what's going to fulfill you, and you know how to get it. We talk about motivation and why motivation is not enough, right? Because you know, everyone is there's so much talk about motivation, but the reality is that motivation is very short-lived. Motivation is not enough, right? What do we do when motivation goes, right? How do we plan for that? And we do this all in a very positive, uplifting, practical way. And what is the course format? So the course is once, basically what happens is we have a class once a week. If you can make it live, great. There's question answer afterwards. If you can't make it live, then you get a member area where the course gets uploaded, the class gets uploaded within 24 hours. You've got lifetime access to it. So you don't have to worry about falling behind or whatever, because you've got as much time. You can also go back if 6 months later you want to do something else, you want to go back and watch it, you have a lifetime access for it. Then there's also a Facebook group that is open for 6 weeks plus a few weeks longer, where you can ask questions, you can discuss with each other, and that's the accountability thing. And I'm also in the Facebook group, so even if you can't make it live, but if you want to ask questions, you can go into the Facebook group, you can message me, you can ask questions that way as well. And there is also a VIP option for that, which means that if you are someone who is determined to make this year your year, right? And you want to fast track your success, a VIP option means that you get access to the course, but you also get access to me, which means that we will work together. We will have up to a half an hour of WhatsApp messages a week, and if you want a WhatsApp call, a half an hour a week or so that we can work together and really get you the personalized support that you need to fulfill your goals this year. So, and I'm just going to quickly show you, because we have some incredible bonuses that work with this course as well. And if you give me just a moment, I will share with you the screen. Let's just see. Oops, nope, that is the wrong one. No, wrong one. Oops, there we go. So basically what you'll see is that the course is going to start in 3 weeks. So the cart is only open, registration is only open until Sunday, right? I'm closing registration for this course on Sunday. And if you register within 24 hours, there are 2 amazing bonuses that I'm going to offer. The first one is a masterclass on finding your own voice, right? How to find your voice, express yourself in public. It was incredible. We did it last time with Rabbi Eisenberg, who is a motivational speaker and a speaking coach, and the feedback from that masterclass was absolutely incredible. And the second bonus that you'll get is a Vivid Vision live mastermind. And basically what this is a mastermind with myself, where we will go through, this is much more of, instead of me like talking, it's much more of a workshop thing, where we will talk about you making your plan and your goals in a very practical and a very fun way. That's something that's very visual and that is very vivid, and that will help you to show up and create your impact in the world. Okay, now if you join within 48 hours, then you'll get the Find Your Voice masterclass as well, part of it. Okay, so what is your investment for this? Okay, so what you'll get is the Frustrated to Fulfilled course. And again, it's the second time I'm running the course. You'll see that you could check on the website. There's tons of testimonials on it of people who did it last year, who really like it changed their relationships, it changed their business. They got so much out of it. So the value of the course is £999. The value of the group accountability membership, right, which is the group where we come together, we are accountable, and I'm in there, I'm available, is £199. The 48-hour bonus is £75, and the 24-hour bonus is £75. So the full value of the package is £1,348. Now, I've got two ways to pay for it, right? So if you want to pay in full, then you can get this entire package of over £1,300 for just £497. Now, if you think about it, that's an incredible, like it's less than the price of a holiday, and you can completely change your life. And if you prefer a payment plan, I can do over 3 months. So you still get the fast action bonuses, you still get everything, and it's $197 a month. And then the VIP option is if you want to join the VIP, if you want to do it like one-on-one with me, is $947 for the 6 weeks. So that is the course. And again, you can I will send out an email with the website where you can check it out, where you can ask me questions, you can register, etc. And I am now going to announce the winners. So the truth is, I am going to there's 2 winners. The first winner was the winner for the challenge champion, which is Maya. You brought the most people into the champion, so please get in touch with me after the masterclass so that you can claim your prize. And then the winner for the challenge, not the challenge completer, I'm going to pick now. It's here. I've got it here, and it is Ruth. Ruth Steinberg is the winner of it. Now the challenge ambassador is apologies for the community champion, the person who was the most helpful in the group. I still have to. I wasn't able to get the information before the class, so I will have to go onto it and do it. Now I'm going to open it up to any questions. Does anyone have any questions, anything that they want to ask?